In America, we have a huge problem. You just can't seem to find quality General Tso's chicken anymore. I have tried General Tso's chicken all over the country and nothing seems to meet my expectations. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and make this iconic dish for myself. And where better to turn than to YouTube? I found 4 of the most popular General Tso's recipes from YouTube and am seeing which channel can stand its ground. We are going to be looking at Joshua Weissman, Munchies, Babish, and Sam the Cooking Guy. All seasoned masters in the cooking realm, but who is going to come out on top? Without further ado, let's start cooking some General Tso's. Alright guys, we're going to kick this one off with Joshua Weissman's General Tso's chicken. Cue the music. Alright, so this video has 2.9 million views, so it's a pretty popular recipe. We're going to kick this off with 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We're going to cut them up into bite-sized pieces. I use about 1-inch pieces. Then we're going to use a 1-inch knob of grated ginger, and we're going to use 2 cloves of fresh garlic. Make sure you're using fresh garlic and fresh ginger for this, guys. It makes a huge difference. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Alright guys, now we're just going to mix this up. Make sure you're using your bare hands like I am. Oh yeah, see, we're having fun with this. Yeah, use your bare hands, very important. Just kidding, it's not that important, but it's not that serious. We're just cooking at home for fun today. Alright, so we're going to wrap this chicken up and we're going to put it in the fridge for 1 hour and we're going to let it marinate. Now this is what you're looking for when it comes out of the fridge. It should look the exact same. So in a separate bowl, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of cornstarch and we're going to add a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. And this is going to be the breading for our chicken. So we're going to take the chicken pieces and we're just going to put it in the flour and we're going to make sure it's nice and evenly coated. If you have parts of the chicken that aren't coated, it's not going to get crispy. Then we're going to preheat our oil to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything between 350 and 400 is okay. I'm doing 375 because that's what the recipe calls for. If you go under 350, your chicken's going to turn out soggy, but if you go over 400, it's going to be burnt on the outside and raw on the inside. So we want to kind of be in that range. And then it's going to carry over cook too. So I did mine for about 4 minutes. With the size of the chicken, 4 minutes should be plenty of time. Then with a ripping hot wok, I want to add 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, a 2-inch knob of minced ginger, and about 4 minced garlic cloves. I'm just going to get some color on that. And then I'm going to add 5 each dried arbol peppers, 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing wine, 1 tablespoon of Chinese chili flakes, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and then I'm going to deglaze the pan with 1/2 cup of chicken stock. I'm going to add a splash of shirodashi. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of MSG for a little bit extra umami. And then I'm going to make a slurry with 1 tablespoon of water and 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. This should thicken up really, really quick. This is what you're looking for, nice thick sauce. Once you get to this consistency, go ahead and add your chicken. And your toss, again, you're going to make sure that all the chicken is evenly coated. And then I like to place mine on a bed of rice. It's also common to see this with broccoli, but I prefer rice. Sesame seed and green onion on top are optional, but that's just what I have, so that's what I choose to use. And this is Joshua Weissman's General Tso's chicken. Alright, let's see how we did. For chicken crispiness, I gave him a 3. The edges remained crispy the entire time, but the majority of the chicken was not. Chicken flavor, 5. This chicken had great flavor. I ate a piece of chicken as soon as it came out of the fryer. Delicious. Spiciness, 5. It had a subtle spice that came in at the end, not overpowering, and for me it was just right. Sweetness, I gave it a 2. It was not very sweet, very savory. For saltiness, I gave it a 2. I love salt, but not as much in my General Tso's. I like it on the sweet side, so this one was just a little bit too salty for me. And tanginess 4. It had a great level of tanginess, but not quite perfectly balanced. So on my journey to find the best General Tso's chicken, I gave this an overall rating of 3.5. Who knows, that could be enough to take the cake. This is going to be the General Tso's chicken from Munchies. This video has about 1.2 million views. We're going to start this one off with boneless, skinless chicken breast. Typically with General Tso's, it's going to be thighs, but this is the only recipe today we're doing with breast. Then we're going to start breading it right away. We're going to add 1 whole egg, and we're just going to mix that in. Again, make sure you're using your bare hands, guys. Then we got 1 cup of cornstarch and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I don't use an apron when I cook, so that's the key to the whole thing here. Then we're going to add some water, and we're going to make a little bit of a paste. This one's a little dirty, guys, but this one turns out pretty good. Then we're going to start our sauce. We're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce, a 1/4 cup of ketchup for a little bit of umami, and a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and we're just going to give that a good mix. And then we're going to fry this chicken for 3 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to fry this chicken for a little bit less time because we're going to double fry it, but this one turns out really nice and crispy. The breading on this one makes a huge difference. Then we're going to start cooking. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 10 Tianjin peppers, 8 minced garlic cloves, all the sauce mixture from before. We're going to give that a good mix. Now this recipe uses Coca-Cola, so we're going to put 2 12 fluid ounce cans of Coke. And then we're just going to let this cook. I let mine reduce down for about 10 minutes. And then after the 10 minutes, I put in a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and then a cornstarch water slurry, which had 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water. And then right before the sauce was done, I fried my chicken one more time for about 30 seconds in 400-degree oil. So I upped the temperature of the oil and cooked it for an additional 30 seconds so it got a little bit more crispy. Then we're going to add the chicken into the sauce. And I don't know if I didn't reduce my sauce down enough, but I love that there's a lot of extra sauce because I love drowning my rice in sauce. Here's final product, guys. This one looks really, really good. Just topping it with a little bit more green onion and a little bit more white sesame seed. Time to give this one a score. Chicken crispiness, 4. Chicken held up great after being double fried and tossed in sauce. Chicken flavor, 3. The chicken itself didn't have much flavor, especially compared to Josh's, so that's why this one has a little bit lower of a score. Spiciness, 4. Wasn't as spicy as I had hoped, but a pleasant heat that kind of sneaks up on the end and just lingers in your mouth. Sweetness, 5. Very pleasant. This is exactly how I like my General Tso's chicken to be. Saltiness, 3. It could have used a pinch more salt, but for General Tso's, it was fine. This one was very tangy and it was well balanced. I think adding the apple cider vinegar at the end was a great decision. On my journey to find the best General Tso's chicken, I gave this an overall score of 4. And finally, we have General Tso's chicken from Babish. This video has about 6.4 million views, so this is the most popular General Tso's that we're doing. He starts off with boneless, skinless chicken thighs, cut it into bite-sized pieces, and then we're going to take 2 egg whites and you're going to whip it until it's nice and frothy. Once they're frothy, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of Chinese cooking wine, 3 tablespoons of vodka. We're just going to mix that together. Then we're going to take this liquid and we're going to split it into 2 bowls. In one of the bowls, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're just going to give that a good mix. Then we're going to add all those chicken pieces into that bowl. We're just gonna give that a nice mix, and we're gonna let that rest for 30 minutes. Then we're gonna add a cup of cornstarch and a cup of flour into a separate bowl. And then we're gonna take some of that reserve liquid and we're just gonna give that a nice mix until it's a little bit clumpy. Then we're gonna use this vessel to bread our chicken pieces after they've marinated for about 30 minutes. And then we're gonna fry these for 4 minutes in 350-degree oil. And this is what it's gonna look like when it's done, nice and crispy. Look at those beautiful chicken pieces. Then we're gonna start our sauce. We're gonna take 4 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 4 tablespoons of Chinese cooking wine, 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, 4 tablespoons of chicken stock, 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And we're just gonna mix that together until there's no more lumps. Then in a piping hot wok, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oils, whites from 6 green onions, and then 2 whole green onions, 4 cloves of minced garlic, and a 2-inch knob of minced ginger. And we're just gonna cook that until there's a little bit of color. Then we're gonna add 12 dried arbol chilies. And then we're gonna add that sauce mixture that we just made. This should thicken up pretty quick as well. And we're just gonna add the chicken pieces. And we're gonna toss to coat. And this is what it's gonna look like when it comes out. Again, I'm just gonna plate it on a little bit of rice. I'm just gonna add some sesame seed and some green onions. And this is Babish's General Tso's chicken. Look at that beautiful chunk of chicken right there. Time to put this one in the scorebook. Chicken crispiness 5. This one was super crispy. Chicken flavor 4. The marinade was great, but not quite at the level that Josh's was. Spiciness 4. Great spice, but I like mine a tad bit more spicy. Sweetness 3. Not overly sweet, but could have used a little bit more sugar in my opinion. Saltiness 3. The salt level wasn't bad, but I would have liked it a little bit less salty for my General Tso's. And tanginess 3. This one was personally a bit too tangy and vinegar forward for my taste. On my journey to find the best General Tso's chicken, I gave this an overall rating of 3.7. Last but not least, we're going to check in with Sam, the cooking guy. DJ, play us out. We're going to start with 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You know the drill. We're going to cut them up into nice bite-sized pieces. Once that's done, we're going to add a tablespoon of soy sauce, a teaspoon of sesame oil, and a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. Give it a good mix, and just let it sit for about 15 minutes. In a separate bowl, we're going to start our sauce. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of rice wine vinegar, a 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of hoisin, a cup of chicken stock, 1.5 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and we're going to give that a good mix. With 350-degree cooking oil, we're going to add the chicken and cook it for about 4 minutes. This is what you should end up with. Nice, beautiful golden brown chicken. Would you look at that? Then in a ripping hot wok, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of minced ginger. We're gonna get a little bit of color on there. Then we're gonna add 8 each dried arbol chilies. Give it a good mix. We're gonna add our sauce mixture. Again, this one should thicken up pretty quickly. Then we're gonna add the chicken into the sauce. And by now you should know what's going on. We're gonna give it a nice toss. Make sure it's all coated. Then we're just gonna plate it over our rice. Green onion and sesame seed is optional. And there you have it. And this is Sam the Cooking Guy's General Tso. So let's see how we did with this one. Definitely the easiest of the dishes to make. Chicken crispiness, 2. This chicken was crispy when it came out of the fryer, but it was quickly subdued by the sauce. Chicken flavor, 2. Chicken had a very mild flavor. Spiciness, 3. Could have used a little more heat. Sweetness, 2. More of a tangy forward version. Could have used more sweetness. Saltiness, 3. Another one that was very salt forward. Tanginess, 3. This dish was overly tangy. On my journey to find the best General Tso's chicken, I give this an overall rating of 2.5. As you know, there can only be one winner. And even though all these recipes were top tier, it's Munchies' recipe that came out on top. Make sure you tune back in, because in an upcoming video, I will take what I have learned to craft a General Tso's recipe that is a 5 out of 5 and checks all of my boxes.